Here's the uncomfortable truth that might surprise you. The vast majority of money doesn't even exist until someone goes into debt. When banks issue loans, they're not just moving existing cash around, they're creating new money out of thin air, backed by a promise of repayment. Think about that for a second. New money, poof, just like that. This process is the hidden engine of our entire economy, a cycle where money equals debt, and growth demands creating more of both. It's undeniably elegant in its design, but also dangerously fragile. Once you grasp this, the world starts to make so much more sense. You'll understand why financial bubbles form, why recessions hit us hard, and why inequality isn't just a glitch in the system, it's actually a feature of how the system is built. So, the people closest to this new money creation, big institutions, governments, financial elites, they gain first access. They get to spend it before prices across the economy fully adjust. By the time that money eventually trickles down to you and me, its value has already subtly shifted upward. This isn't some grand conspiracy theory, it's simply the math of how it works. What economists call this the Cantillon Effect, an invisible redistribution of wealth that happens every single time new money enters the economy. Once you truly understand this, you start to see how the game is wired. Central banks create what's called liquidity, commercial banks multiply it through loans, and asset holders are perfectly positioned to capture the upside. Meanwhile, wages often lag behind, personal debt compounds, and the middle class slowly erodes. If the system were producing abundance for everyone, maybe that trade-off would make sense. But it clearly isn't. Instead, we're seeing a widening, almost shocking gap between financial wealth and actual productive value. Financial markets are growing wildly, wrapping themselves around everything from housing to healthcare to education, until these essentials are no longer about basic utility, but pure speculation. The price of things we all need to simply live becomes a function of monetary expansion, not real-world innovation. It's easy to blame greed, but greed is just a constant of human nature. The real issue, the truly unsettling part, is the fundamental design of the system itself. You can feel the tension, right? That deep down, nagging sense that things just don't add up. People feel it in their daily lives. They feel that productivity and wages no longer move together, that owning a home feels increasingly out of reach, that simply working hard doesn't guarantee stability anymore. These aren't random social problems. Oh no, they are profound symptoms of a broken, sputtering monetary engine. It's a quiet dread, a subtle stress that permeates our lives. And you might say, well, that's just how the system has always worked. But that's not a defense, it's a surrender. Every single outdated system was once considered permanent, until someone, somewhere, built something far better. So, how do we move forward? The answer isn't to just tear everything down impulsively, but to question it from the absolute ground up. This is what we call first principles thinking. It means stopping our reliance on analogy, rejecting inherited wisdom, and rebuilding our logic from the fundamental layers of reality itself. At its core, money is supposed to be a technology for coordinating human effort. It's a vital protocol for value exchange, an energy bridge connecting time, effort, and innovation. When that bridge gets corrupted, everything downstream follows suit. The economy stops rewarding creation and starts rewarding access. That's when civilizations begin to hollow out from the inside. Look at history. Empires rise on production, invention, and courage. And they fall when those qualities are replaced by rent-seeking, speculation, and crippling bureaucracy. The Romans debased their currency. The British Empire drowned in debt. It's the same story repeating itself, because the underlying logic never changes. When money creation becomes detached from true value creation, collapse almost becomes inevitable. The challenge isn't to predict when that collapse will happen. The challenge is to actively build something new before it does. Economics, you wouldn't end up with what we have. You wouldn't create a system where value depends on debt, where the few control creation, and where the majority spend their lives chasing liquidity that evaporates faster than it's earned. You'd build something different, something that treats money not as an end, but as an information system. That's what money really is. Information about value, trust, and scarcity. The problem is that the information